So today I had the great pleasure of meeting up with Stephen Curtis, and I will leave all of his contact information in the description below, or in the podcast description, or just wherever it's going to end up. I'm sure you can find it. But I just wanted to let you guys know we met up, we sat down in his studio. Beautiful, beautiful place. Pianos, MacBooks, Mac computers. I mean, he has all the right tools to create beautiful music, and this is why he's creating incredible and touching and beautiful music. So we sat down and we just chatted about the things that he's been doing. He recently went to New Orleans to record his latest album with some very very amazing people, and he'll go into that and talk about it himself. We chat a little bit about myself and my inspiration to music, how I got there, and just stories left and right about what it means to be a good human and what it means to be just have the right sort of inspiration. We don't need to be we don't need to have a low of confidence or be judgmental toward ourselves, only to just accept ourselves and do our best. So without further ado, I will get us jumped right in to the conversation, and here we go.
And so it was just like, it was cool. I think it was a good thing though, because I got to look back through the footage and then realize like, okay, I want to keep that, or I want to take out that, or it was nice to like rewatch everything. So it wasn't total loss, but it definitely sucked.
See, so I just click record. We're just gonna go.
Go for it. Yeah,
I'm gonna talk about stuff anyway. I'm so different. Well, I mean, I'm the same in a way because I have literally thousands of photographs because take pictures and record everything and all that stuff on my computer, and probably like 20,000, and I'm just like, yeah, and they're cool. They're really cool. Believe me. Like I was driving when I was in doing the West Coast thing, and. Don't do this at home, and you don't do this either. I'm driving, and I pull out my DSLR while I'm driving. And I'm like, this mountain is too good. And my thoughts are just like, don't do this, Andre. Don't do this. You're going to die. And I have to do this. Okay, cool. Put it away. And there was nobody else on the road. Mm-hmm. But I should have died. I'm glad I didn't die.
I've done that. I can't say I haven't. I was so bad. I was driving from Pullman, actually, 2 days ago. Don't even look at, like, the miles per hour I'm going, and I'm on my phone looking at like footage from people that recorded me last night at the performance, and listening to it in my ear, and like kind of like doing some like criticism in my head, and I looked out and I'm going like 110. I'm like, oh my god, like
it's easy though.
Yeah, but you don't even like on the open country roads, like when there's no cars there, like you don't even pay attention, and then we're going like 60, like when we get into a town, and I'm just like, I feel like we're going so slow right now. I was just like, oh man, I don't know. I pick up the need for speed, I guess, on the country roads.
Well, there's nothing to assess your speed, right? And you don't feel it. You're trying to go home. It's like a 4-hour ride. It's like
I actually like the long drives. I don't know why. I think it's so cool seeing all the scenery, and then listening to like just good music on the drive. And
were you driving by yourself or?
Yeah. I'm totally.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, it's great meditation. I love it.
Has that ever influenced any kind of music while you're driving? Just like,
yeah, a little bit. I think so. I wouldn't really know how I've kind of put it into my music, but
not on the spot.
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
So it's like
I've been introduced to other music based on that. If you road trip with other people, they're like, all right, let me have the aux cord. You listen to it, and then you can just dabble in. Yeah. I just love listening to all kinds of music, which is why I have so much respect for you. Like the fact that you came for a show at PLU. I felt like I was the only person that would go to like local shows and just go there to support the music. Nothing to gain from it. Just like I just want to go and just listen to it, and that's what I did for years. Before in the Seattle music and scene, and I never asked anything in return. It was just like I want to go there to support people I really support musically, and I think that's the most rewarding thing is just going. I don't know. I just couldn't consider myself a musician if I didn't listen to other music.
Exactly. You can't just sit here and just make things.
Yeah, exactly. There's just a lot of people that like have such a, not to call out the Seattle scene or anything, but there's a lot of local artists I've met just have a huge ego, and it's just like, it's like please just drop it. Like we're all making music. Like it's, people think if they have to be the best, so they have to like avoid talking to you and develop this ego, but in reality it's it's not like an NFL team where they're looking for a select amount of people. They're looking for anybody that, like record labels look for anybody that can like produce music and make them money. So it's like, if we all support each other, if we all brand out and like actually promote each other, we'll get the Seattle scene out there and we'll get everyone to know us. It's like, I think that's what's key, but people are just more like
individuals.
Yeah,
but I'm better than you. But
yeah.
Can you ever really keep the ego out of it, especially when you get into this kind of playing field where, I am better. I'm making music. Oh, now I'm a millionaire. Or these things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does get in people's head, and not to say it hasn't gotten in my head sometimes too, but I mean, I think for everybody, I think there's a way around it. Like, you can still think highly about yourself musically, but at the same time, you can still appreciate other music.
Of course.
And I don't know, some people just, they don't see that, you know, they think like they're the next Mozart or, you know.
Well, at that point, yeah, it's you know, just comparing yourself to others and being judgmental and all that stuff. Like, it's important to have confidence in your own material, whatever it may be. So maybe I'm good at just walking around, or just the way I look, or anything in your thoughts. You want to be good with your thoughts, being nice to you, because you can just tear yourself apart. And I know we already do that as musicians. Like, that sucked. I throw it away and do this, that, the other thing, right? Or maybe it's just me, who knows?
No, I mean, like, even, like, after shows, sometimes, like, I'll go down and be like, oh, man, that show was terrible. And then people would come up and be like, I love that, you know? Because, like, you're your worst critic. So, like, if you miss, like, a chord or something, you're just like, oh, God, I can't believe I missed that. Or, you know, they're not going to notice. You know, it's a live performance. But you're thinking in your head, like, I can't believe I missed that chord 2 songs ago. Like, oh, my God, you know? But it happens. I mean, that's part of the live performance. I love the imperfections as much as the perfections, but it's cool. Just like, kind of lost my train of thought where I was going with that, but
that's why I think maybe not even I won't say naive or young musicians, but like young, like human beings, ones that aren't ready to really deliver a message. Like, for me, music is all about, okay, you're delivering a message. It's not just playing music, because it is fun and it's very spiritual and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's about, why should you be lifted up to the podium, you know, so the whole world can see you? What can you share with them, right? So it's like, at that point, if you're a mature adult, you can take the criticism that other people give you. You can also take, or, you know, give a positive message. But if you're a younger human being, or a more naive kind of, I'm just going to go with like soul kind of type.
Yeah.
You're not advanced in how life works. You're going to, in order to keep yourself safe and, you know, not criticize yourself, you're going to try to uplift yourself through, oh, I'm better than you. Oh, whatever you say, it doesn't matter because I'm better than you. So then you just dissociate the judgment, but now you judge even more so, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. Like, I mean, I even wrote a song where I thought it was probably, and I didn't mean to make it egotistical, but it sounds like an egotistical song. I wrote a song called The Underdog, because I felt like in the Seattle...
Dude, I love that
Thank you, man. I wrote that song, like, because what I noticed with the Seattle scene, and I'm not including the Tacoma scene, Tacoma's really open, like, I don't know, they're divided, I don't get it, but like, I like combining them together. But in the Seattle scene, like, they have this circle, and if you're not in the circle, then you're not part of the group. And I always tried getting in that little clique, that little circle, and I could never get into it. And so I just felt like, well, I feel like I'm good enough. Why are people, like, you know, like, musician-wise, like, coming to the shows or anything like that? So and also in a sense, I was feeling down about myself at the time. I don't remember why, but I was just like, well, I want to put everything I've accomplished into one song and just, like, make myself feel proud of myself. And so I wrote Underdog, because that's how I felt at the time. And it was also based off a 16-bar, like, rap verse challenge, and then I ended up making it an entire song after that. But yeah, it was I don't know, it was just one of those songs, like, after listening to it over and over, I'm like, does this come off as egotistical? I don't know, because Ed Sheeran does, like, You Need Me Man, I Don't Need You, where he does basically rapping about the same thing. And I don't know, like, I like it, but it was just like...
it's great.
Yeah, it made me really think, like, I should probably tone it down, and if I do any kind of, like, fun, like, hip-hop kind of rapping songs, like, do not boast about myself. So I realized that's probably the only song I'm going to do about it, but, like, yeah.
Dave, whatever your truth is, you got to speak it. So at that moment, you know, you needed to get that energy out there, whatever you had it, you know, whatever emotion, in order to just get it. And that way you connect with other audience members, or, you know, musicians that also listen to you and get inspired. It's like, okay, you do need to have that feeling inside of you, and I don't know if it's boasting, because it's not really, because when you're good, you're just speaking the truth. It's like, listen, I am good, and a lot of these people, you know, they're saying that I'm not, well, or they're just like not acknowledging me. Well, I know I'm good, and check it out, and you prove it with the song, because it's like, it's super fast, and there's so many things going on, and you're just sitting there just washed with this beauty, and you're like, holy crap.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You saying that, though, it's like, if you want, so on Wednesday, I think it's this Wednesday, if you want, I'm going to Seattle to like a rooftop musician party.
Oh, really?
If you want to come, Wednesday night.
You're gonna hate me. I have to decline. I put myself on lockdown until the 8th which is Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm playing at London Bridge Studios, and I'm gonna do live versions of the entire album. So every single song, we're gonna have like film crew film it. So kind of like my Robert Lang videos I've done, and we're just gonna have a bigger camera crew and just. It's gonna be used for promotion for the album. So like kind of like showing new loop pedal, like new songs and. I haven't really released any content for like half a year because I was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So,
doing stuff.
but when everything starts coming out, I'm going to have at least consistent content. So like 2017 was just like plotting for 2018 basically. But
and it's happening. Well, it's not it happens like once a month or like once every few months. So it's like next time if you want to, I'll invite you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Tell me a little bit about you. I want to know like all about your music and stuff and like.
All right, let's see. Well, started playing about a year ago, right?
You started a year ago?
Yeah, I started performing about a year ago. Music was
wow.
on my radar.
Okay, I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram, man. For a year, that's impressive.
Like, thank you.
No, dude, great vocals and great guitar playing for a year. Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
I was not that good for only a year playing.
I think my superpower, because you know what they say. What do they say? Jack of all trades, master of one. I think my master of one is just learning, because you know I was in pre-med. I learned how to learn really fast. You know, going through school, and you know, I was successful left and right. So
wow, pre-med.
I
I dated a nurse in the ER department, so like I kind of understand like how much work goes into that. Like
a lot of work.
Yeah, respect, man. That's a lot of respect.
Thank you. But that's what like taught me how to, you know, like I said, taught me how to learn. Taught me actually the mindset that I approach music and art with, just like on a cellular basis. You know, everything is made up of other smaller things, and you can always zoom in or zoom out and have a full representation of whatever is underneath it. So you know, say we're made up of cells. Those cells make up organs. Those organs make up cavities in your body that function certainly in separate ways, and then you have the whole body. Same thing with the song. You have the whole song. You break it down. You got bridge, verses, all these things. Each one of them is a verse or just a line of things, and then you can manipulate each one. Have the rhyme scheme right. So the way that I see it is, I just play with so many things, and I want to make something new. Obviously, right? I don't know if I am or not, but right now it's like the same thing. Just learning and putting things together and trying to just express whatever I'm feeling. I don't know whatever I'm feeling. Things come and go, and you just put it into music.
You definitely have the music soul in you.
I love music.
But a lot of people don't the structure, everything right off the bat. So I can tell you were born a musician. No, I can just tell. Some people they're like, I don't even know how to rhyme sentences together. It's it's not. I don't think it's that difficult. But I mean, for other people, it just doesn't work that way. The way they're wired, but. The fact that you just said that right off the bat, it's like, okay, you know exactly what you're talking about. That's so cool.
My biggest thing right now, through writing, it's like, you can rhyme, whatever, say whatever. But I just wanted, just like Gregory Isaacoff, Isaacoff, just make it just so, first of all, unexpected and so visual that that I'm painting pictures in your mind. I'm already doing that whenever we speak. We're painting.
Yeah.
But I just want it to be so vivid that you just listening to the song, you just get pulled away. You're the same world that I'm in, and I'm like, I feel like I'm tripping balls, man, all the time. I'm writing a song, I'm playing a song, I close my eyes and I'm gone. I'm just like, whoa, and then I come back.
There's no better high.
Oh, art is the best. Woo! I that's what I try to teach art. Just take it, do it. You don't need anything else at that point.
So you went from pre-med, and then what happened after that?
Pre-med, then so I finished that, and I told myself I was going to wait a little bit before going to med school, and I went to go work with a doctor. So got a job within a couple of weeks. Started working with the doctor. He was very impressed. Within like 2 weeks, he's like, "Listen, I went to New York med school, blah blah blah. You give me the word, I'll tell you. I'll get you in. Like all my friends are on the board." I was like, "Okay." And at that point, I was like, "I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Let's not push this." And continue to work with him, which was my second longest running job. Everything else I quit with like 3 months.
Wow.
I get bored. I master it, and I'm just like, this sucks, and then I just leave. And that one I was working for a year because he kept giving me other things to learn. He's like, "All right, first you're just gonna do this. All right, cool. Now you're gonna get some X-ray stuff. Okay, cool. Now you're gonna do some laser techniques. Cool. And then now you're gonna schedule like where all of us go." And I was like, "All right, cool." So he kept moving me up in responsibility, not necessarily in pay, but I like the challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm working, and got to a point where I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go to New York." I was like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to med school," and started going around my friends and just telling them, "All right, I'm leaving." Me and Kevin, Mikey's brother, we made a pact like we're gonna send each other letters, right? Like physical letters with one move of chess, right? So we're both gonna have boards, and he said, L. I don't even know, G7 to G8 or something.
Really?
We were going to do that, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, all right, cool. So we made that pact. We're going to have a really, really long chess game. And kept driving around, and I got everybody. I was going back to my mom's house, and I just got thoughts coming through my head. Just like about my little sister. She was 6 or 7 at the time, or 5, who knows. And I weighed the options, like, okay, I'll be gone for about a decade, 12 years or so, doing all these things, and I know myself. I know I would achieve it. The path is clear. You just do the work.
Yeah.
Or be a part of my sister's life, and it was clear for me, at least, because me personally, my dad was gone from my childhood. He was back in Russia. He left.
I'm sorry.
Because that happened, we're here, so it's good. Everything's good. So for me, I was like, I can't do that. I want to be a part of family's life. I want to be a part of her life. I want to help raise her, because this is the most influential part of her time, of her being like elementary school, middle school, just school.
Yeah, just
right?
shaping you in a person. Like
exactly. So I was like, just freaked out in a good way. Quit my job, left my apartment, just cut all connection, just severed everything.
Wow.
And then I went back to mom's, and I was like, listen, because she needed help. She was running her own business. I was like, I'm gonna help you out. I don't need anything. I'll just crash, whatever room's available, which was upstairs attic. So I was like, I'll just sleep there, whatever. And I'll help you out with the business. And the business was like a little less, more or less creative. I got to play with CNC routers and programming, 3D design. So I learned all that by myself. And then I was running a CNC router, just like engraving some, I don't know, some pictures or something on like granite or glass. I don't remember, just for fun. And I had this thought hit me, just washed completely over me. I was like, holy crap, I can do anything. And like right now it sounds like just, well, whatever, you can all say that. But this became a truth inside of me. I was like, holy crap, I am capable of literally anything. I can make anything happen. And whoo, boy, I lost my mind at that point. I went full artist. I started making stuff. I started writing books. I started painting so you can see my shoes and hats, and started making clothes. And then music came around last year when I was just like in a really, really low place. Like last December, I was working nights as a janitorial at Seattle Children's Theater, and it was just killing me. And I kept coming home just freaking depressed, and I thought I was gonna just, I don't know. But the guitar was in the side of the room, a guitar sitting there, and I don't know, just picked her up, started playing, and I at least for me, I realized why it's called an axe, because like I was just like, it felt like I was swinging all these emotions. I was just destroying this, and
I've never heard that metaphor before.
That's
great.
So it gave me relief, and I was like, oh my god. So then I started playing every day for six hours a day. Just like after work, I'd come home like midnight, 1 a.m., and I'd just be playing the same song or just practicing until like 7, 8 a.m. And I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up, and then I'd eat, and I'd go back to work. And that was a while of that. I performed first week into playing, had an art show next door at a brewery, and on the pamphlet or whatever, what is it, the poster, on the poster,
I was so hesitant, but I was like, okay, live music, right? And then the whole week I'm kicking myself. It's like, oh gosh, this sucks. Why did I put that on there? But I'm playing, and you're a lot better in your room than you are before, when you're performing.
Yeah.
This is what I learned.
It's funny, like, when you're in your bedroom, you're, like, thinking you wish you're playing in front of people, and then when you're playing in front of people, you're wishing you're playing in your bedroom.
That's exactly it. Well, I learned a song, which is already, like, way hard. It was by Head in the Heart, Winter Song, right? Which is, I felt like it was a good, I connected with it because, winter's hard, and they were talking about that, and it was like, there's finger picking, there was like a stretch between like five frets. I can barely do it, but I kept working on it. I got it, and I went to go perform it. And I kept just pushing it off. People asking me, "When's the live music?" I was like, 8 o'clock. And they're like, "All right, we'll stick around till 8." I was like, just like excited but sad about it too. And I sat down to play, pull up my stool, and started finger picking. Dude, my hands went retarded. Just full stupid. And but I pushed through it. First song I sang was Book of Love, and what's his name? Whatever. Book of Love. Google it, right? And then I did the Head in the Heart, and just, we're a worst critic, and I felt like I did the worst ever. But so, people were nice. They're like, it was good. Clap, clap, clap. And after that, I started actually playing really close to your house at the what's the place? Right?
The Draft?
Yeah, the Draft.
Yeah, that's like literally just down the road.
Yeah, I started playing there because nobody cared. It was too loud, and I just had a microphone, and I started playing, and time progressed, and then I started going to a lot of shows, and I'm a visual learner, so just watching people, I'm just like, oh, I can do that, and then I started taking that upon me, like through mirror neurons. It's a wonderful hack that people can Google about the brain, and just started playing more often, and started playing around, and now I'm just, I don't know, trying to do something. I don't know what it is.
That's awesome. How's your sister doing, by the way?
She's doing great. She's 9. She's 10 now, or she's almost 10. She'll be 10 in a couple months. And she's the reason why I became a teacher. It's because I became an artist, and then I was more influential in her life. And then she came to me and she said, we need an art docent in our school. They cut out arts, and I was like, no, my watch, you don't cut out art. So I went to go to elementary schools to teach art. And then, got my foot in the door, talked to the teachers, and they're like, you could be a substitute teacher. You got a bachelor's degree, right? I was like, yeah, just go talk to this guy. I was like, okay. Talked to that guy, and started substituting, and started teaching K through 12, and, now that's how, I found, at least for me right now, just the job of my dreams. I've worked this more than a year now, which surprises me, because I get bored and quit, and now I just, get challenged every day, and I get to influence the next generation. I get to give them that, that piece of whatever, in order to get them to the same place where I'm at. Dude, you can move mountains. You just need to want to do it. That's it. There's nothing different. Before I became a musician, I looked at musicians like they were gods, or authors like they were gods. And then I wrote a book. Oh, now I'm an author. And then I became a musician. Oh, now I'm a musician. We can all do this.
Yeah.
And so I just want to instill in the kids.
This is very inspiring for me. I'm loving this talk.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it.
Well, you're doing the same thing. That's why I was so excited, because when I got to see you, which, thank you for posting it on Facebook. I feel like I'm the only one that sees Facebook posts. So.
Oh, what did I post?
Well, this is a while ago when I got to see you at PLU.
Oh, yeah. That was my goodbye show.
Yeah,
your one of them. Show. Yeah.
That's the one that I was like, because I knew of you, and Mikey kept posting your stuff, and he kept talking about you, and I was like, dude, you're good. And then you said you're doing a show, and I was like, oh, PLU, yeah, that's pretty close. No, it wasn't really close, but I was like, I want to go there.
Well, thank you, man. I that means so much. Yeah, when I first met you, I didn't know who you were, but then when I got to know you, I'm like, this guy's a ball of energy, and I absolutely love it. And then I saw you at the Columbia City Theater when I'm like, okay, I gotta know this guy. This guy's cool. And yeah, man, just talking right here, I like you a lot right off the bat. Yeah, I think you're awesome.
You too.
Wow, this is kind of blew my mind today. I wasn't expecting this. Wow, that's really cool.
And here we are. But can you tell me, because I mean, I'm really interested in what happened, like when you went after your goodbye show, because your goodbye show was amazing, recorded. Malik did probably a great job. I didn't see the footage. I don't know where it is. But what happened when you went to New Orleans?
Yeah, so so it's kind of, I'll have to rewind a little bit to the backstory. So I when I lived in Tacoma, I was playing every day, and I tried out a plan, and I was just like, sorry, my fly's undone for whatever reason, it's disorienting me. But we were so I started playing music 8 years ago, and as soon as I picked it up, it was just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I'm just like, and people that said no motivated me more. So then, like, I would go home and I skipped all the high school parties. I skipped every high school dance just performing. I skipped prom, just playing music and writing.
I respect that.
And well, I couldn't get a date even if I tried. Though,
I was
at the time.
I didn't go to prom. None of that happened. So.
I actually had a prom date, and then she canceled on me.
Oh.
And so, like, I was like, all right, no problem. I'll go to Laser Quest and write a song, no problem. And so nice. I went laser tagging in Federal Way, so it was pretty cool. And then played Minecraft too. I forgot. It was a solid prom night. I had no regrets at all.
Good.
Oh. But yeah, but music was always just kind of the passion for me. And you went to Mountain View, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Frericks.
Oh, yeah, I love Frericks.
She was like my second mom. She still is, and she just kind of guided me with music. And you know, you've been in guitar class, but I wouldn't consider myself a guitar player at the time. Like, it was more like I was trying to learn to hit on women at the time.
Yeah, I think that's what we all did.
Yeah, but in sophomore year, I looked at the guitar and I was like, I actually just want to get good at it, just for the sake of music itself. Not like, I've always loved music. My dad is a classically trained singer, and he plays guitar too. So like, I always wanted to do that, but he was such a hard ass. It was very intimidating. And so sophomore year, I was like, all right, let's try this out. And I tried doing heavy metal when I first started. So I'm going through puberty, like trying to scream, and my voice is cracking. It was all bad. And there's a video that Ed Sheeran shows when he's like 13 when he started out. I watched it. It's horrible, you know. But he even says, you know, with a lot of practice, you get better. And I've always thought that too. And so, and I always saw the results. You know, I kept getting better every year. And I was like, well, I wonder if I only have 8 years of playing now, what would I be like in another 8 years? Like double the amount, you know. And that's what gets me excited and really amped up to find out. And so we did so when we moved to Tacoma, I tried out this whole plan. I wanted to make an album. I wanted to do this and that. And the way to do that was try to make some money off playing shows. And I wanted to make some live videos with my loop pedal, because a lot of people haven't seen me use it before. So we went to Robert Lane to record them so we can get more people to come to shows. And the ironic part was I spent so much time promoting those videos, I never did any shows. But what was really cool was my audio engineer, he was Justin Armstrong, and what I didn't know about it was he was a Grammy-winning producer. Like, he recorded Nirvana, Foo Fighters, like Dave Matthews, Death Cab, and I didn't really know until like after like the day before, and then I heard all about like who he's recorded with, and I got so nervous I threw up the day before. But him and I became really good friends, and after that I just kind of asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to make an album together? Like, I would really like to do that. And he's like, fuck yeah, brother, let's do it. Yeah. And a lot of stuff kind of happened in between where he had a lot of work, and he actually was preparing to move, and he's like, yeah, so I'm moving down to New Orleans. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess the album's kind of canceled with him. He's like, why don't you come down and live with me and make it? And then I'm like, I froze a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna move across the country to like make an album with you? Like, yeah, let's do it, you know? And it was cool because I told him right off the bat, like I told you, like my biggest inspiration is John Mayer and Jason Mraz. And I said, you know, I don't feel like I accomplished my dreams until I'm on stage with them at least once performing. And I think that might have spoke to him somehow, some way. I don't know, but it was enough to make him let me come down there and move in with him. And so I packed all my stuff up, and it took a few months because he had to move, get everything prepped up. He was working on an album he did some work with Macklemore at the time too, and it was like the Downtown song, and just get everything organized. So I worked part-time, and then I had to take care of my grandpa because he got really ill. And so that's all small stuff. I'm out tracing the fact, but we got down there, my dad, and it was really cool. Just the studio wasn't even built yet, like fully built. So the first 2.5 months I was down there, I helped him build the studio.
Ooh.
I got to help, like, we tore out his pantry room to make the vocal booth, and got to explore New Orleans, and just like that guy and his, so he had his, he moved down there to be with his family, because family was very important with him. Like, he lost his parents at an early age, and so he lived with he had his sister move in, and then he had his girlfriend, and then his best friend, they all moved down there with him. And so, well, except his sister was already down there, but so those people quickly became my family too, you know, because we all just kind of related to each other in a really good way. And you know, it was just really cool just to experience different kind of music and listen to what he did. And I have so much more to say, but I'm losing my train of focus trying to think of like what will happen. I have video, I'll show you for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, the first 2.5 months that happened, then we recorded demo tracks. Yeah, I told him I had to go to. Okay. Now I'm starting to get in the thought process. So we had a contract to record in a month, and I thought that was super fast. I was like, I've never recorded anything that fast in my life, you know, to record just a month. And we're sitting there in a bonfire after, I forgot what we took out, but we're just throwing everything in the fire, and we're just sitting there drinking a beer. And I'm just like, you know, if you want to make this album go a little bit slower, I have no problem taking it as slow as possible, as long as we make like really good content, you know, really good quality. And he's like, fuck yeah, brother, let's do it. So we went a little bit slower pace. And I had a wedding in August, so I flew back up here, and he flew back up with me. And he's like, we're going to have Ben Smith do drums, and he's the drummer from Heart. Nice. So like does Barracuda and whatnot, like, yeah. So I flew all the way up here. We did demos the day before, and then the day before that. And those demos, I was actually very intoxicated. I was very drunk. And he's like, all right, Youngblood, you gotta go record. They gave me like a native name down there because I was the youngest kid, and they're like, Youngblood, go record. I'm like, I can't, I'm drunk. He's like, Youngblood, don't be a pussy. You know, like joking, you know, like, yeah, I'm like, oh fuck, all right, you know. And so go in the vocal booth and trying to like sing on a click track as accurately as possible. And then the next day we did everything sober. We redid everything sober, and we got to the flight, and we were 15 minutes before boarding. So we almost missed the flight. We spent 4 hours right before, and then we flew to Washington. Got there, then we had Ben Smith do the drums, and he just nailed it in like 4 hours. Like, he just got everything. It's like, hey Ben, can you try this out? Can you do this and that? He's like, yeah, let me go in. And he does like 1 or 2 takes, and he's like, how does that sound? Perfect. Like, literally, I guarantee he goes to sleep like, instead of like an actual ticking clock, it's the metronome, just like he's like thinking of beats in his head or something. Like he was just flat out the best drum I've ever heard.
Wow.
And yeah, so then right before I flew back down, he said, Steven, you need a new guitar, otherwise we're fucked for the album. Like his exact words. I'm like, all right, we'll go to New Orleans and we'll find like the perfect guitar. You'll know what we need for recording. He's like, nope, I want one from Seattle. I'm like, dude, my flight's tomorrow. Like, I have to find a new guitar by tomorrow. And so I spent $3,000 on this Martin guitar right here. $3,000, yeah. And flew back down, and it was perfect for the album. So it was really great. And then we had a guy named Rick who owns Maroney Studios down in New Orleans. And he's part of Twilight Singers and Afghan Wigs. And so he played, besides acoustic guitar, he played every other instrument on the record. And like, so he did strings. Like, he played every single string instrument. He played the bass. He played a little bit of electric guitar, and like, he played steel string guitar. And like, it was just so incredible. Like, we're all Justin and I are just listening and just like take part of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is the song, this is the direction we're going for. He's like, all right, yeah, let me just fiddle around, see if this fits with it. And some of the instruments he didn't even know how to play. And he's just like, all right, let's try it out. And it works out for him. He's like, all right, is that good?
That's funny.
Yeah, and being surrounded with those people that are very good at what they do, it's just, the whole experience was crazy because, you know, you're living with people and working with people that their job is to make your dream come true. And that's just really weird to fathom. And one thing that really bugged me, like back to the underdog thing, I have a lyric where I say I work harder than anyone I know. That's a fact. And then I met Justin, and I watched him just work his ass off, and that inspired me to work harder when I got back home. And so like did the video editing. Like today I sent a couple hundred emails like on LinkedIn and like Gmail and doing all that, and he just inspired me to work even harder. So when I got back here, it's just grinding and just like email, phone calls, and trying to like plot a tour for organizing it. So next 2 weeks from now I'm flying to Boston, which is like this NACA college convention, and I'm gonna have my own booth and like try to get college booking shows, because I think my demographic's that.
Exactly.
And so promote it that way, and then just hit the road in a van and travel across the country trying to.
That would be amazing. You would love the van. You love the long drives.
I love it, and you know, I don't think I would be satisfied if I wouldn't go on the road every night performing, you know. Like I feel like that's just something I only know how to do, and I want to figure that out and do it.
So what was it? Indie on the road? Indie on tour. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
So go on Indie on tour. I think it's a.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's a website. So when I went on tour in August.
Oh, you went on tour?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't play anything, so I was sitting there, right? So I told myself, I'm a musician, and you know you gotta understand that you give yourself permission to do anything, right? You don't need anybody else to give you permission. So that kind of came back to me. I was like, I'm a musician. I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna go on tour. I had time off in the summer, so I took a van, and I decided to do a West Coast tour. For like 4,500 miles all the way around. And I just did not plan anything. I was like, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna find gigs, and didn't know how, didn't know why, didn't know where. Just drove. I've never left Washington. Like I've been out in the world. Like I've never left. I've never seen anything in America besides Washington. So I just started driving. Just went on 101. Went near the coast. I said I'm gonna enjoy beautiful things here. And then my only goal was really. Or plan. The only plan was to be in eclipse range when the 21st of August hit. Right? I wanted to see the eclipse. So I was like, okay, I have plenty of time. Go down, hang out in LA. I have some friends in LA. I got some friends in Texas, which I thought I was gonna go there. I was so wrong because that's way far. In my head, it's much smaller. So I started going down, what was the first one? Was Long Beach, California, and. No, not California. Long Beach, Washington. Didn't know there was a place. Stopped there because I was like, just want some tea. I'm a tea guy. Like, I love tea. Anytime I go, I was like, give me some tea. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I eat. I'm very healthy. I don't do anything but music and art and tea.
I drink a lot of alcohol.
Yes. I'm that crazy.
No. It's awesome. I respect that. Until I was 22 and a half, I was just complete straight edge. I was like, I never bashed it, but I just never did anything. And I was just like, I wanted to focus on music, and then got heartbroken like anybody. And then just like, I have probably one of the worst first drunk experiences ever.
That's funny. Tell me.
Okay. So do you know Earl's in Seattle? It's by UW.
I should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they call it Hurls for a reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I went there, and my concept of drinking was shots. So I thought.
That's how it starts.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought every like alcohol drink, you drink it like a shot. I don't know why, but that's just the concept I thought. So to get drunk, chug it. My friend Macaulay, she bought me a Long Island iced tea. And so keep in mind, I was really heartbroken at the time, so I was on depression meds. And if I don't have a tolerance, like you're going to get drunk quicker.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine drinking a Long Island iced tea within 30 seconds.
Especially for nice strong.
That's what I did, yeah. And so I did that. And then my friend Jared Stout, he gave me a Bud Light. He's like, here, Steven, try Bud Light. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. I chugged that. So this is all in 2 minutes. And then it hits me. And then I feel like I had a sober brain, but my body was just like, I'm like witnessing. I'm like, whoa, this is very unusual. Like everything's spinning. And I'm like cross-eyed, I'm loopy. I can't even hold my balance. And I get a tap on my shoulder. And this is when the videos were taken off at the time. And I turn around. It was actually like a fan. It was like the first time I encountered like a fan like in public, and they're like, Steven Curtis. I'm like, am I out of it? And then she like walks away. I'm like, oh fuck. And she knew I couldn't even like speak, and it was so bad. And I ended up hurling in front of everyone. Even people in high school were there too that recognized me, and like I haven't seen in years, and or just seeing me throw up on the sidewalk in front of everyone, like this long line to get in, and I was just like, I was throwing up so much, I was throwing up blood the next morning, like it was bad, and you'd think after that you'd like stop drinking.
No, it just gets worse.
Yeah, but I tamed it a little bit, and then I went to New Orleans, and I thought people would, like Pullman or something, like partied, you know, but there's no comparison. Like in New Orleans, like people love drinking, you know.
Really? Wow.
Bourbon
More
Street,
than Pullman? That's impossible.
Oh, trust me, man.
Shoot.
And so there was a lot of alcohol down there, but yeah, it was when I got back up here, I kind of sobered up a little bit, but you know, I'm always down for like a good time, recreation, you know, fair use, you know.
You gotta enjoy yourself.
Go through a little party phase in your life, you know.
See, I was opposite. So being Russian, obviously you have this thing following you. Drink. So it's like, yes, I owned it. So it's like maybe I started drinking quite early.
Do you want a water? I'm gonna.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Start drinking quite early, and just kept doing it. And yeah, through high school, drinking, like 10th grade, already, parties and all these things, and then, marijuana too. And then I know
the devil's lettuce.
I know the devil's lettuce. There's so many. I want to actually write a song about like the devil's lettuce, or just like it just sounds so cool. And there's so many names you can call weed, but so I kept hanging out, kept drinking, tolerance kept growing. Just enjoyed that time, and then I think it was around 22 or 23 probably. I'm 26 now. Shoot, I don't know time anymore. But it was 22, 23, doesn't matter. I got a realization just about what health really is. I realized that nobody out in the world cares. They're selling us shit to make money, and none of it belongs in our body. So then when I learned that people just don't care if I die, I was like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna care. So I'm gonna start caring about myself, right? So I stopped smoking because I used to smoke too. Stopped smoking, stopped drinking, started exercising, started eating all the healthy stuff. Just like health was number one.
Did you go cold turkey or?
Yeah, I just decided to stop.
Wow, was that hard?
No, not for me.
Really? Okay.
Because there have been times where, like a year or so afterwards, because then I'd just be like, I'm gonna start smoking again, and I just started smoking for like 3 weeks, and I was like, this isn't doing it, and I just quit again. And then that's why like Kevin, he just looked at me like crazy because he's still smoking. He's always asking me, how do you do it? And I was like, well, I just decided to stop, and then I stopped.
You have to have a really strong mindset to do that. Well, props to you.
Well, thank you. I my thing is it's the decision making. It's like when you don't have a real reason to not do something or to do something, then you're just gonna keep on like autopilot, right? It's like, if you're smoking, you're already doing it. It's a habit. You need to break it, right? So you need a reason to break it. If you have no reason, no good reason, I just want to quit because it's bad for me. But if you don't believe that it's bad for you, you're just gonna keep doing it. So I had a realization again. It's just like, okay, for me, health equals freedom. If I don't have my health, I don't have my freedom to play music, to do art, to go out anywhere I wanted to just do anything. And freedom for me is just key. It's number one, right? So if I don't have my freedom, what good am I? What am I doing in this life? So in my head, okay, I want freedom. I'm just gonna stop, and then I just stopped.
Right on, man.
Yeah, and so now it's like alcohol, all the other things. I'm just like, man, give me my guitar, just play some things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just healthy stuff. But yeah, and so back to the tour. Hit Long Beach, Washington, and then wanted to get some tea. Drive around. Went to one place. It was closed. Found a place that was like, they gotta have tea. It was like a inn. It wasn't an inn. It was like a house that you stayed, like a bed and breakfast kind of place. Stopped in there. I was like, oh sweet, they have a bar. Go in there, and in the corner of this tiny little place, just a guy with a guitar playing, with a little tiny amp, just singing, and he's good. And I was like, man. And I got my guitar, obviously. It's like just travel with that thing. Don't want it to get stolen or anything. And he sees me with the guitar. He's like, oh. After a couple songs, he comes up. He's like, hey, you want to play? I was like, yeah. So I sit down and he'll play a couple songs. Just blow the 10 people in there. Like literally, it's like you look at your room and then maybe divide it by 2 and then put a bar in most of it, right? So I'm sitting there just playing and they're just like, whoa. And then one of the ladies comes up. She's like, I own a bar, like down the road. It's like, you're hired for tomorrow. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, we'll feed you, and thank you. Yeah,
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, we'll feed you, and we'll they were gonna pay me, but you get to keep all the tips. I was like, whatever, I just want to play. So they gave me a stage, they gave me some beautiful food, and I ended up selling one of my paintings there. One of the ladies really loved me. She just wanted to take everything I had. I didn't have, albums or CDs or anything. I'm still, fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But so she's like, "What you got?" I was like, "I got paintings." Okay, I'll give you $50. Thank you. And then I made $150 in tips. So I was like, all right, this is great stuff. I'm gonna keep doing this. So
Awesome.
kept going down. Next town I hit the next day, same thing. I just need some tea. Go to a bar. Open music playing. I was like, all right, cool. See my guitar. Oh, you want to play? Yeah, I want to play. Start playing. Same thing. Just play. Oh my God, you're good. You're hired for tomorrow. Okay. And then kept happening. And I ended up playing. I didn't play every single day. I was gone for 30. I was driving for a month, from Washington down all the way to LA, which there I didn't get to play that much at all. People just don't care.
Yeah,
everybody's doing it.
That's why I never moved down to LA.
Yeah.
My producer even says Seattle and LA, he said, are pretty much dead in the music scene, and because LA, everyone goes down there to chase their dream, but they have to pay for rent, so everyone has to get a job or two jobs because it's so expensive there.
Yeah.
So they work so much they never have time to actually go out and promote. And they said A&Rs don't watch anybody down there. They all focus on the social media game. So it's like work on that, develop a fan base, and if you can make a stable income with your music besides working a job, then go down there. But that's what he said, like focus on the music first before anything, because LA is such a it's no-win situation.
I completely agree. And being there, I definitely felt it. Like it was nice to just walk around and meet my friends there, just hang out. But it just it felt sucky. And I'm the same way. It's like if instead of going somewhere where it's already taking place, where like the art scene is taking place, it's up to you to create one where you are. That's what I'm saying. It's like we as a Seattle, Tacoma, whatever people. We need to work together so we can all just shine so brightly that we'll become the next LA and people will be coming here. Oh, this is where the music's happening. Oh, this is where just the edge.
And the thing is, because of Amazon and everything, everyone has moved here. So now it is becoming the new LA, which is why the Seattle music scene is kind of dying, unfortunately. Is because everyone, it's getting too expensive in Seattle. And it's just like, actually, I recommend you go to New Orleans. You would absolutely love it. There's music on every corner. First person I met, this is the craziest thing. This is where I literally had my jaw dropped. It was the first day I got to New Orleans. My dad and I, we went to a bar. This is like at 12 in the day. We just went to go get something to eat, and they had these cool little daiquiri drinks, so we tried them out. And I talked to the bartender, and she goes, "Where you from, baby? Your accent's different." Like they say baby and babe, kind of their slang down there. Cool. And I said, "Oh, I'm from Seattle, down here recording, musician, just making an album." And she goes, "Oh, really?" And then she writes down her number. This is the bartender, mind you. And she gives me her number. She's like, "I end at 4:30 today. There's going to be music on top of this rooftop. Feel free to come and hang out with me and my girlfriend and make some connections." No Seattle female bartender would ever do that for me. Yeah. No. And then there was a guitar player and a bass player playing in that same building. And so I walked to them and I just greeted the guitar player and just said, "Hey, great playing, man. I love your jazz music and what you're doing with things." He's like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "You're a player too?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, we're playing here at the same time tomorrow. Bring your guitar and jam with us." He doesn't even know if I'm good or not. Yeah. And he's just like, "Yeah, come and join, and you'll make some money too on the side." And I guess street performers there, they can make $400 a day because people actually they go out on the street to watch the musicians perform.
They care.
Yeah, they actually care down there.
What?
And every single bar scene, it's always filled, and there's always live music, and it's generally jazz and blues. So you might get lucky if you go out in the singer-songwriter era. I've seen a couple too, but the music's so dedicated down there, and since they do it full time, they're so good. The musicians there are subpar. They're amazing. And it was just the coolest thing to realize. And you'd see the homeless people on the street, and they're singers. And they're like, "Hey, can we sing a song for you for $1?" And we'll sing you a song a cappella or something.
At least they're doing something, right?
Yeah, and they're working their ass off, and it's the coolest thing. And I just, you know, you compare that to like the scene here, it's like there's no competition. Those people like live and breathe music as much as they can, and there's some people down up here, and I don't want to bash the Seattle music scene so much, but like, you know, it's almost superficial sometimes, and that's what was really cool, just seeing a whole different community and then respecting it, because people down there, they just love music.
I'm falling in love with every single word that you're saying right now.
Yeah, and then Austin, Texas, I guess, has a great music scene too.
Really?
Yeah, and I was only there for a day to like just walk around and see the scenery, but yeah, I recommend, like, if you ever get like a random vacation trip, go down there and just experience it. Like, it's something to see for sure. Plus the strip clubs are amazing.
Screw the music, you should have loved that.
No, it was fun to, like, as bad as this sounds, I don't know if this will make it to your podcast, but there was times where Bourbon Street got too crowded. Like, I went there for Voodoo Fest, which is our Halloween night, and so literally it was traffic, like people are shoving each other, and you wouldn't move from the same place for like 30 minutes, and you're like literally moving like this because everyone's like huddled together, and there's construction going on, so there's very few passageways, and so when it is, it's just completely crowded. And to hide out for a little bit, I actually went in a strip club, and it was so nice because like I didn't ask for a dance or anything. I just grabbed a Heineken, just like sat in the back and just kind of texted, did my own thing, and the strippers would come to you, but I look at them and go, like, look, I'm not looking to dance, I'm not looking to look at you or anything like that, like, but if you want to talk, go for it. And they just sit down with a beer, and like you just get to listen to their life story. Like, I was like, yeah, so what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm actually working here for veterinary school. I'm like, that is awesome, like, best of luck for you for that, you know. And I give them a couple bucks just as a tip, like, best of luck for your school and whatnot. And it's like,
the dancers are wonderful.
Yeah, and it's cool, like, you know, like, there, I'm not trying to objectify them at all. I'm just there just to talk with them, and just, it was cool. Like, it wasn't like a business conversation. It was just like, let's just talk. Let's just have a good time.
People having
exactly, and they were all for it, and it was just cool just meeting people like that, you know. And put the looks thing aside. Let's just have a fun conversation and like dabble into like our life stories. Because I get curious about people's life stories too. Like, I love hearing.
Everybody has a backstory. That's.
And I have so much respect for strippers too, because like the saying, if you got it, flaunt it. And you know, some people do that just for the sake of it, and it's like, you know, props to you. I would not have that confidence going on stage like that.
And that's what it is. It's confidence.
Yeah.
Dancing around, being confident enough in your body to be that nigga. It's like the people that judge them, you know, negatively, they just are either jealous or they don't understand. They don't even want to give it a second time.
Yeah, they're making plenty of money, so it's like,
they can go to school.
Like throwing the money into the haters. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just had so much respect for strippers. It's cool, like, for what they do. So
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
I don't meet many people that, you know, say that.
I know. I mean, it was just. I mean, it wasn't like. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. I don't know. The weirdest thing to talk about, but at the same time, it was a great learning experience, and I don't think I would have got that if I went to one in Seattle. New Orleans, people just wanted to talk to you and just like get to know you. It wasn't strictly about, okay, let's go in the back and have a dance. It's like, no, let's actually talk. And I'm like, where are you from? Seattle. Oh, what are you doing down here? It's like, oh, cool, yeah, you know. And I don't know, it was cool. I actually got to talk to one person that was from Seattle too. So.
Oh, he's such a cutie.
Yeah, he's 12 and. There's nothing but love. He used to be a lot skinnier, but he lost his brother a few months ago. And
oh, sad.
We overfed him a lot.
You overfed him a lot.
It was
more to love.
Yeah, it was so peaceful though. Like, so my other dog, he died in that kennel that my dad and I built for them, you know, outside. And after he died, like they're from the same mom and dad, just 3 years apart. And after Rex died, Buddy went and laid exactly where he did for like 8 hours. It would not move. Would not listen to my parents or anything. And then where they buried him with the backhoe, like he went and laid right over there too. Because like that just shows like brotherly love. Like it was just the coolest thing.
Well, just like, you know, some people, you know, consider them as just like animals, which just doesn't. I don't get it how people don't see animals as just like, you know, life.
No, I mean, technically we're animals.
We are animals.
Yeah. But it's, yeah.
So they feel, they think, they might not be able to sit down and, you know, make computers
or have a conscious decision all the time, but yeah, totally.
There's still life. You know, you look at their eyes and they feel something. They feel a connection one way or another. It's like, who says that we're better because we can do so many more complex things? Maybe they're Yeah, we're I can't say they're better. We're all on the same playing field. Like it's all the same. Life is life. You can't compare. One is better than the other. Each one has its own purpose, and each one has its own beauty. That's why this life is worth living. My life is worth living. Your life is worth living. Every life is worth living. Nothing's better.
For sure.
And that's why I just love dogs so much. They're just so cute and loving. And I love you. Yeah, buddy, I love you. I miss my buddy. Oh well. He's better off in dog heaven, playing fetch with people that care about him. Right, buddy? Oh. So let's see. I want to wrap it up with just
no problem.
With something. Maybe how did you get to a point where, I mean, I understand your dad's a musician and music has been around all your life. How did you get to that point where you decide, okay, I want to write music, I want to share something? Like what happened in your life that got you to like share and then like shine? It's this, like, this is a naked feeling, to be able to just write your heart and then play. Like it's oh god, it sucks sometimes, but it's good now. But in the beginning, it sucks. So what got you to that point?
It was actually 8 months after playing. So I did, when I moved to Mountain View, I transferred from Auburn from freshman to sophomore, and I just met this girl that I thought was like the prettiest girl at Mountain View. And so I was a shy kid, had no confidence in myself, just typical high school emotional, hormonal teenage boy. And I wanted to write a song about her, but I had no confidence in myself, so I wrote a song called She's Out of My League. Oh. And I played it for her. Got rejected. Oh. And then 4 days later, I played it for Mountain View during a choir concert. Ooh. The next day, everybody knew who I was at school. And everybody liked me, and everybody hated her.
That's funny.
But, everybody ended up liking her again, 'cause she was a good girl. Like, she has a good heart, and all that. It was just wasn't into me. Yeah. You can't force someone to like you. And at the time, I didn't understand it. But you're only 15 at the time, so it was one of those situations where after I wrote that, everybody really liked the song, and I felt like there was just potential I could write better songs. And I just wanted to keep writing. And I've always been kind of like a poet writer at home. Like before I got into music, I was a drawer. Before that, I was into filmmaking, and then Halo machinimas. I was a huge Halo nerd, so I was super into the Halo 3 machinimas and all that. And
100% with you, yeah.
I got into Bungie's homepage one time with my machinimas, so I got like actually a decent fan base from it. I got like almost 250,000 views on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I thought that was the coolest thing. Being 14, I was like, oh my god. And then 15 was just like, I picked up the guitar, went to choir at the same time, and I just never looked back. I dropped everything else. Don't even play much video games anymore, except for a couple games here and there. And my whole time is just music. Mm-hmm. It's just fully dedicated.
Well, I think it's because it's like so powerful. Like, for me, it's the same thing. Started with painting and like visual art, and I found that people just don't get it. They just don't get it, and they can't see it, and they can't receive any sort of message. Mm-hmm. You can make whatever statement you want. People just don't know how to appreciate it or look at it or even approach it. So I was like, okay, let's go to writing. And then with writing, people also same thing. People read, so you reach more people, but at the same time, there's a whole bunch of people that don't read. So you're gonna miss a whole bunch of people if you want to deliver a message.
Yeah,
but and auditory, you don't even have to like listen on purpose. It just comes, and you don't even have to think about it. It sits in your subconscious.
Yeah, it's universal. Yes. I mean, like you could speak a different language, but if you're singing with emotion, people will feel exactly what you're feeling, and they'll hear what you're portraying, and that's what's always so cool about it. Like you don't have. I mean, as weird as it sounds, I love anime. I don't know a lick of what they're saying Japanese-wise, but I can portray the emotion they're saying when they're screaming or fighting, But, and that's how I feel with music, If I hear a song that I really like, whether it's English or not, like, if I really feel the singer bursting their heart out, then you can tell, like, they're really feeling it. And I think that's the coolest thing. And, you can't please everyone. There's even people that don't like music. Some people don't like art, and that's fine. I just want to make sure the people that like my music, I could go out and do a show and people would come up and just say, thank you, like I needed that today. Like I just needed to listen to some music and unwind a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so rewarding.
And you're giving them an outlet. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not saying like, oh, I want to help the world or change anything with my music. It's more like, I want to put out content I love, and if people love it, great. Let's join the journey. Let's have a fun ride and see where this takes. You know, and that's as much as I can portray. I had song ideas where I like, oh, I can spread a message about this and that, and Justin was so blunt. He's just like, I don't like that. I don't buy it. And so like, he would listen to 20 of my songs, and we only had like 10 of them in there. Like, I had a message, and he's like, nope, just be you.
Yep.
You know, don't try to be someone else. Don't go political. I wasn't even political, but he's just like, just don't do it. Like, and it was cool. You know, you need someone to be real with you, and I really like that from him. The one thing I had a fun debate with him though, like he absolutely hates everything Ed Sheeran does. That's funny. And I like Ed Sheeran, so I'm just like, I wrote a song very similar to Ed Sheeran. Like he listens in the car because I showed him, and he's like, that's one of your worst songs you ever wrote. I'm like, oh, damn. I thought it was one of the best songs I wrote. It's like, nope, I don't buy it. That's hilarious. So we bashed it. Like, I'm like, all right, you know, like, you need those people. You need those people to be completely honest, completely truthful, and I don't know. That's just kind of, I don't know where I was going with that either.
It's okay. It's a beautiful.
I'm just having a great time talking with you, man.
Dude, yeah. No, same here. Goodbye.
Oh boy, what a ride that was. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I and Steven enjoyed our conversation. I truly, this is the first time that I actually got to sit down and chat with him, you know, one-on-one about, not real stuff, about just a nice conversation. Before this, you know, I knew of him, but we never really got a chance to connect. And today was an amazing day to do that. So I was really happy I could sit down and just share myself, share my heart, and get reciprocated. After the show, we played each other some music, and it was very moving, very beautiful. And you know, I hope that next time, no, you're not gonna get it next time, and that's okay. But in time, you will see his new music, you'll see my new music. If you guys are itching for anything more, I'll be doing a new podcast called The Almighty Update. It's a very short podcast, and right now you can find it on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to just Google Almighty Psyche or Andre Psyche, and you will find it all. And if you're looking for the notes for Mr. Steven Curtis, you can find it in the description below. Alrighty, guys, have a great day. We love you. Keep on shining, guys. Keep on shining.